FBI declassified and published the Carter Page surveillance documents. But as you can see, it's heavily redacted. So now Mark Meadows, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, and Lee Zeldin are pushing Trump to make more of those documents public. And little tangent, I always find it funny whenever people claim that Trump is a threat to the media or something, because he's been more open and more transparent than most of the previous presidents, especially Obama. I mean, Obama withheld copious amounts of information from journalists, but anyways, they're also pushing for Trump to declassify and release all of the official notes filed by Justice Department employee Bruce Ohr. Now, if you remember, his wife is Nellie Ohr, the one who worked for Fusion GPS. And she also dealt with Trump research paid for by Hillary and the DNC. Well, now people are interested in Bruce Ohr's connection to Christopher Steele, because they're trying to weed out these biases inserted into what was supposed to be an unbiased FBI investigation. Bruce Ohr testified in front of Congress last week, and Mark Meadows wrote to DOJ Inspector General Michael Horowitz and federal prosecutor John Huber. And Meadows told them to include Bruce Ohr's involvement in their own investigations. So it's good to know now that Huber has the ability to convene a grand jury, he can order subpoenas, he can investigate and collect evidence, and he can call witnesses to testify. I sure hope that Huber and Horowitz take Meadows' advice, though, because I'm sure that Bruce Ohr's involvement in their parallel investigations would yield some very interesting results. And also, Sarah Carter reported on all of this, saying that Bruce Ohr's testimony said that the FBI knew about Christopher Steele's anti-Trump bias before obtaining the FISA warrant on Carter Page. And they also knew about Bruce Ohr's wife, Nellie Ohr, working at Fusion GPS, which was the firm hired by Hillary and the DNC. And don't forget, like I just said a minute ago, Nellie Ohr worked on the Trump research. She was directly involved with that. Not to mention, Bruce Ohr fought Russian organized crime with none other than Christopher Steele. And they apparently went on to develop a bond. Another interesting piece of this is that many months ago, when I was talking about this dossier FISA scandal, I said, remember Rosemary Collyer. And the reason that I said that was because she's the presiding judge over the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. And I knew that some part of this would end up coming back at her. And I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. I just mean she was either deceiving people or she was deceived herself. And we have to get to the bottom of it. It's being recommended that she holds a hearing and just drags in these officials from the DOJ and the FBI and just grills them. I mean, if there were crimes committed, then she has the ability to make a criminal referral. And Trump told the Daily Caller yesterday that he's looking very closely at declassifying the warrant. So if more of this is unredacted, you can bet that I'll be covering it. And it's really not coming a day too soon either, because there was an anonymous op-ed posted today by the New York Times that claims to be from an insider in the White House, admitting that there are officials working to frustrate parts of Trump's agenda. And this would be the swamp. And I don't mean everyone has to agree with Trump. I just mean if you're so concerned about the Trump presidency that you're writing an op-ed, that you're sabotaging the White House from the inside, then that's the moves of someone who believes that they know best when they really don't, because they actually think that Trump's policies have been radical in any kind of way. So that's really all for this new development. I have multiple videos on the dossier and the Russia investigation and the Ohrs and the Clintons, DNC, Steele, AWANs, all of it. And I'll link it below in my sources. Other than